All right, up next on the 7, as Loudon continues to grow, a local nonprofit is asking for the community's input to help influence what downtown Loudon will look like. You know, according to the University of Tennessee, Loudon County is the second fastest growing county in East Tennessee, and people in the area say they are starting to notice. Between more traffic on the roads and more people checking out the local shops, one resident tells us the area has changed significantly. As a matter of fact, many shops have opened, bringing life to abandoned buildings, and he tells us he's happy to see the growth, but wants to keep the area's small town feel very much alive.
I think if it loses that charm, then it loses what makes it Loudon. I love that people have found it, love that people are coming here. I'm pro-tourist, but I don't want it to lose its small town charm. I don't want a bunch of modern buildings being built. A little outside the city is fine, but in here, I want it to look like this.
You know, this is why the nonprofit Loudon Alive is seeking input, hoping to give residents a chance to have a say in how they'd like to see their home grow. Next up on the list is a traffic alert for you tonight. TDOT warning of construction work that will impact traffic on I-275. It started at the top of the hour, and there will be intermittent lane closures on 275. It's right there at the bridge over Elm Street and Bernard Avenue. This work will run through Friday morning. Now, crews will be working where the new sections of that bridge they installed over the past several weekends meets the road. TDOT says nightly closures will run from 7 p.m. until 6 the following morning. And we do want to give you a live look right now at I-275. Right now, traffic's still moving along. This is through the TDOT SmartWay camera. Crews have not yet started, so those lane closures not in place, at least not just yet. But again, remember, that should be starting up this evening. And remember, TDOT says there will be another full weekend closure on I-275 in the fall. Those dates have not yet been released. However, TDOT once again says they will not fall on a Vol football home game weekend. Well, tonight we are learning TVA's chief nuclear officer is resigning. Timothy Roush has served in this position since October 2018. You know, records obtained by 6 News show he informed TVA CEO Don Moll that he intends to leave TVA by March 1st. The Nuclear Regulation Commission says the chief nuclear officer is responsible for managing, controlling, and supervising TVA's nuclear power programs. We'll, of course, be watching to see who is chosen to replace Roush. Case against a man charged with first-degree murder following a multi-state manhunt has now been bound over to a grand jury. Nicholas Hamlet was in court this morning. He is being held without bond until the grand jury hears the case. This all stems from a call to 911 back in October. Law enforcement said Hamlet claimed to be someone else, claiming to have fallen from a cliff while running from a bear. Team then finding a body with a stolen ID in the woods near Charles Hall Bridge on the Cherry-Hollow Skyway. Investigators say they found Hamlet, took out an insurance policy in the victim's name. Hamlet was eventually captured in South Carolina. For our final Big 7 story tonight, 6 News learning of another violation from a Clinton daycare. We're talking about Kitty Corner. This time, the Tennessee Department of Human Services determined the child care business falsified an incident form with a reported injury not matching with video. Now, we're told this violation was recorded on July 23rd and was corrected yesterday. Following a separate July 2nd visit, we told you a non-compliance issue was observed at the daycare. In this case, records said staff members did not report suspected child abuse or neglect to the Department of Children's Services. One day before the July 2nd visit, 6 News reported the site director for the center had been placed on leave. This after a staff member told the center's executive board of directors that the site director may have failed to be forthcoming about those abuse allegations. Congressman Tim Burchett kicked by a horse suffering a broken rib. His press secretary says this happened over the weekend. As a matter of fact, we understand Burchett was accidentally kicked by the horse while working on his farm. Now, other injuries include bruising. However, the press secretary adds Congressman Burchett is not holding on to his horses when it comes to his work schedule, saying he has not missed a beat and that there have been no changes to his schedule. You know, we've seen evidence on social media with Burchett posting pictures and videos from recent visits to different communities here in East Tennessee and Middle Tennessee. He also just took to social media to write the situation is, quote, no big deal. Well, this morning, 6 on Your Side got a look at the construction progress of the 612 building on Gay Street. This is in downtown Knoxville. The 612 building will function as an extension to the Tennessee Theater. Progress so far includes, again, opening walls to connect the 612 building to the theater, building new floor plan designs, also starting on finishing work like painting and tiling. Tennessee Theater Executive Director Becky Hancock says there is a lot of history here as well.
So when I stand in the lobby now at the theater, a lot of elderly folks will come up to me and say, I remember coming to the theater as a child. I saw movies here as a young person, or now I'm bringing my children or my grandchildren. And so it's really important for the theater as a nonprofit organization to maintain that connection with future generations.
This project has been underway for a number of years, with the historic Tennessee Theater Foundation purchasing the 612 building back in 2019. Now, COVID slowed the project down, but the aim now is to complete it by next year.